Hello, this video will be called Is the Healing Real? The ones that fall on the ground, like the Benny Hinn ones or the faith healers. Is it real? Well, falling down in the spirit or being slain in the spirit, whatever you like to call it, is not in the Bible anywhere. Or nowhere is in the Bible where someone hits them and they fall on the ground. But there is a verse in the Bible where a demon-possessed boy falls on the ground, which is similar to that what we see. Luke chapter 9, verse 42. It states, quote, while he was coming, the demon threw him to the ground and convulsed him. But Jesus rebuked the unclean spirit and healed the boy and gave him back to his father. So, unquote. So we see there that the boy fell to the ground. We see that the same when people are so-called being healed, which they're not really being healed. They fall to the ground and they move around like a worm and they start shaking. We see that similarly to the boy who was demon-possessed. And that was in Luke chapter 9, verse 42. So if anything, the Bible gives us a close imitation of it that it's possibly, if not, demonic. Why is it needed? Why do they need to fall why do they have to fall to the ground? What is the benefit? What's the purpose of falling on the ground? Jesus healed people with his hands. He touched them and they were healed. Jesus never hit them and they never fell to the ground because it wasn't necessary. And yeah, we see that nothing in the Bible. Jesus never did that. Rolling on the ground or shaking or acting like an animal is not of God. We go to Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 and 23. Quote, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. Unquote. So we see you need to have self-control. When people are on the ground, so-called they're being controlled by the Holy Spirit, they're moving around like they have no self-control. Now, we never see that in the Bible. The Holy Spirit does not do that. The Holy Spirit is calm. We see that many times in other religions. So the Pentecostals who believe this have a problem. Is to the other religions that do the same thing. They're on the ground shaking, and the Pentecostals who do the same, do they have the Holy Spirit as well? Or do they say that's demonic? But if it's demonic, then why is the demons doing the same things, exactly the same thing, shaking on the ground, making noises, animal noises, same as the Pentecostals? The answer is that it's one spirit, and it's an evil spirit. So, moving on, compare these healings to how Jesus healed. Is it the same? No, it's not the same. It's very different. As I said, Jesus put his hands on the people that were to be healed and they were healed. They never fell to the ground. They never made any noises, as in no squawking, no pig noises, no anything like that. Did the people Jesus healed do any of these, what we see today? No. We see Christians must test the spirits. 1 John 4:1. So let's go there now. 1 John 4:1. I'm doing this with one hand, so it's at 1 John 1 John 1 John 4:1, quote, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, for many false prophets have gone out into the world," unquote. So we see, we need to test the spirits because demons can come into amongst Christians and pretend to be of God. So we need to test the spirits. Because even Satan can do the same miracles as God, but it would be cheap, as we see in Exodus chapter 7, verse 8 to 10, that the Pharaoh's magicians turned the staff into a snake. They copied God's prophet Moses, who did the same thing, but it was cheap because the miracle was cheap because the God's miracle, the snake ate their snake. So we see Satan does similar, if not the same, miracles, but his miracles are cheap. And so we see, so Satan can make people speak in tongues, fall on the ground, acting like a worm or whatever, shaking, but we see also in another religion that they do the same. So that is a problem. So I believe that the devil is doing similar things in the Christian church today, and here it is doing it elsewhere amongst different religions. And so these are not healings because there are reports of the sickness that comes back and even kills people. I heard of a healing that Benny Hinn supposedly did. A guy felt no pain. He thought the cancer was gone, stopped taking tablets or whatever, and didn't see the doctor. And a few days later or a few months later, he sadly died. And so there's a big risk to go to these so-called healing conferences. So be aware, there's a big risk in that. The healings Jesus did were real. So we need to test the spirits because it's very important to do so. So thank you for listening. Have a good day and God bless.